I swear to God, CD Projekt Red read my mind, and now we're getting another expansion on The Witcher 3. So yes, if you guys don't know, actually The Witcher 3 is getting a brand new third expansion next year, and we are supposed to find out more information come Gamescom. Yes, they actually confirmed in a live stream, I think it was either today or yesterday, that they will be at Gamescom and they will go into more detail about what this expansion pack will entail. But right now, all we know is it's called Songs of the Past. Now, I'm very interested in this because, one, The Witcher 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. Definitely in my top 5 RPGs of all time. Probably it'd actually just be straight up number 1, to be honest. And it's one of those games that I highly recommend people at least try. I will say this about The Witcher 3. Just like kind of just go into this a little bit. It's not a game I think everyone could enjoy. But if you're someone like me and you're kind of, you could forgive some of the shortcomings of the game, it's one of the best fucking games I've played. And I mean that sincerely. And it has some of the best DLC expansions that I have ever seen. Like, period. Like, Blood and Wine. That could have been its own game, and everyone would have been fine with it. Everyone would have been glad to pay $40 to $50 for that. Everyone would have been fine with that. But then, of course, we now got this new expansion. And we actually do have a little bit of details, from what we could tell from the image they put out, and also kind of system requirements. First off, this ain't no DLC. This ain't like the DLC they did that was free when you got the game. Like the beard trim sets and, the different quests they had. This is straight up an expansion pack. Like, this is 80 gigabytes. That's huge. And this is only for current gen consoles. So PS4, Xbox One, and I guess Windows below Windows 11 PCs won't be able to play this. This is for PS5, Xbox Series X, and of course Windows 11. No mention here about Switch 2 or Switch 1. Probably is going to avoid that, if I'm being honest, just because it kind of seems like that whole situation with that version of the game is kind of a mess. Like, I've heard people say, like, it's not the best way to play the game. It's actually one of the worst ways to play this otherwise amazing game. So we know it's 80 gigabytes. We know that CD Projekt Red has kind of hinted at, like, it might kind of tie into The Witcher 4 and what's going on in that game. We don't know for sure, but some people obviously noticed that Geralt in the picture they put out has 3 swords instead of his regular 2 swords. And some people looked at it and said that third sword he's holding looks eerily familiar to one of the swords Ciri was holding in the Witcher 4 game, or the Witcher 4 announcement trailer / game engine trailer they showed, or video, sorry. So a lot of people are speculating maybe this is kind of story behind the sword and how this all going to play into. And it's also Songs of the Past, which that's a very interesting title. Like, because are we going to be dealing with some of the backstory of Geralt? Are we going to be dealing with some of the are we actually going to go to a previously visited place and we just didn't visit in The Witcher 3? I totally be on board for that. I would love for us to go back and go to some the areas from The Witcher 2 or The Witcher 1. But obviously there's also other thing to know, and that's the creature in the background. And this thing does not look human at all, obviously. But it also looks like it's kind of been tied down. And I noticed also a fire. I'm actually looking at the image here because it's my wallpaper. I'm kind of interested to see what this is about. And I want to see if, are we going to get, a Haunted Woods kind of thing? Because we kind of got that with The Witcher 3 with the Crookback Bog. But I would love to see, an actual, fully realized haunted, forest. Where, creatures that Geralt could be hallucinating or showing up and stuff like that. The possibilities with The Witcher 3 and this expansion are very much up there. And they have said this is actually higher caliber than what they did with Phantom Liberty, which, if you recall, Phantom Liberty was said to be their most expensive DLC expansion pack ever. So they're going beyond again. That's, typical CD Projekt Red. They can't be satisfied with making something on the same scale of Blood and Wine again. No, they have to keep going one-upping themselves. But yeah. Also, this gets me kind of curious about where Witcher 4 is going to fall into. Personally, I'm still in the camp of The Witcher 4 will probably be towards the end of this generation, which we're getting closer and closer every year. But from what it sounds like, The Witcher 4 is closer than the Witcher 1 remake that we've been, speculating about. And honestly, it's way more ahead than what we saw with Cyberpunk 2, which that's still, like, I've heard, like, that's, like, almost 10 years away if we're even lucky for that. So, until next time, guys, just tell me in the comment section below, are you excited for this new expansion pack? What do you think this story is going to be about? With a title like Songs of the Past, I think it's going to have something to do with the past. Maybe something to do with Witcher 2. Maybe going back to an old area that we haven't been to in a while. And maybe dealing with some new enemies. All that kind of stuff. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube algorithm BS. Bye.